one?
Thank you.
Okay. I'll take this one then. Shout out Deer Park. If y'all didn't know, Deer Park is naturally alkaline because it's spring water. Spring water is naturally alkaline. So, do your thing. What you mean? You want to search it?
Go ahead. Carry on.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Alkaline is alkaline.
What you mean?
But that's fine.
Alkaline is alkaline. What does that mean?
Alkaline water is alkaline. There's still things that they add into it that they're not talking to you about, but you can research that.
Add into what? Fine. Alkaline water. That's labeled alkaline.
It's not. I'll explain this another time.
No, we can go. No, we can.
This has nothing to do with the subject.
Another part.
Shout out. He's trying to get his sponsorship. That's fine.
No, I'm not. For real.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Spring water is alkaline. Real spring water. But we have a special guest on the podcast today. You know what I'm saying? Young Rory, no era gang. Turn up.
Yeah.
Talking shit.
It's your girl, Rory.
Okay. So, you hit me up. You said, hey, I got a topic I want to talk about for this podcast. So, explain to the people what we talking about today.
So, we're going to talk about the music industry. And obviously, that could branch off into so many other discussions. Then, the other thing that I really want to talk about as well is the whole ordeal currently going on with Mr. Jack Scott, aka Travis Scott.
Why that nigga Travis Scott, Jack? Is that his name?
His real name, Jack.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, Travis Scott.
I don't listen to that nigga.
I mean, real fans know, what his actual name is. Anyway, Travis Scott and the whole Astroworld situation. But before we get there, obviously, I just want to talk about who we think has the album of the year. Okay. So, for me, personally, like I said, it's Don Toliver. Don Toliver takes the cake for me. It was cohesive. It was beautiful. He definitely carries Jack Boys for me.
100%.
He carries them on his fucking back. So, that's just me. So, anybody else's opinions about who they feel has album of the year?
So, I didn't listen to Don Toliver's album, but I like his music a lot. I didn't listen to his whole album. I listened to a lot of it, but I didn't listen to the whole album. My favorite album of the year is YG and Mozzie's album. You know what I'm saying? Because I can listen. It's only 10 songs, but I can listen to it all the way through. Like, I like street music. You know what I'm saying? Like, either my brain is on some soft lovey-dovey, like I want to love you type shit, or I want to kill you. So it don't really go in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Don Toliver shit, but it's usually like, all right, boom. I either want to kill you or I want to love you. So, yeah.
Bro.
That sounds kind of crazy.
I don't know. I feel like I have a biased opinion because I haven't thoroughly listened to any albums. So it's like, I can't really say.
Or what? Let's say this. What's your favorite song right now? Or what song, like, do you hit repeat on?
I like Are You Down by somebody. Because it reminds me of, like, starting a riot. Are you down to the down to the down to the down, down. Hey, you know?
I've heard it.
That's, like, a song I like to put on, like, when I'm, like, about to start working on the air or something. It's like, oh, yeah. Are you down to riot? Change the riot?
I fuck with it.
Yeah?
That's all right.
Definitely.
Who's that by?
It was on TikTok.
It was on TikTok.
Those are always like the gem songs, the ones that you don't know who the fuck they belong to, but it's just a bop.
Shit, I'm quick to hit Shazam. I ain't gonna lie. If I fuck with it like that, like, I'm trying to hear this when I get out of, when I walk out of Target, like, or wherever I'm at, like, I'm quick for that Shazam. Like,
what about you though, Nigel? Like, what is your top album of the year?
Don Toliver is probably number 2. Number 1 for me is Cleo Soul.
I fuck with you even harder for that. Cleo is definitely a gem.
Cleo Soul's album went stupid. Like like you could tell what direction she was trying to go, but it wasn't too much. Like, it wasn't too intense. It was like just right with like every aspect of everything. The songwriting, the lyrics. Just like the overall construction of the song, like there's a live band with it, so that automatically makes that's automatically gonna make the music feel different. And then at the end of like full song, at the end of like full songs and shit, like you can tell like they were just like having a jam session. To where they literally just, you could hear the band like taking the original beat that she just sang over for 3 minutes, and then they take that and just play with it, and then transition perfectly into like the next song.
So I guess my next question really is like, what do y'all think makes for a good song?
I was about to ask something similar. So for me, right? Okay, so we can go deep into it, or we can do surface level.
We going deep into it.
You know that we got
if
to.
you don't
so,
know that,
okay.
What you mean?
What I think makes a great song, right? First of all, it has to have a concept.
Fact.
Of course, a good instrumental, you know what I'm saying? But the concept for me, and kind of like, I gotta know that you've been through the shit that you talking about by the way you write. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I like artists that I can see that like they've been through the shit, or like some artists, like some shit you can't make up unless you been in it. Like Sade, like the way she talks about love and stuff like that. Either she was in love or whoever wrote that shit was in love. You know what I mean? But the way she talks about it, like a tattoo, or I give you the sweetest taboo. Even the word sweetest taboo.
You gave me the kiss of life.
Gave me the kiss of life. The
So
way she's describing it is very simple but powerful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think a lot of times people think they gotta do the most too for their.
You don't gotta do the most.
You don't.
Because somebody who's been through the same thing, when you say sweetest taboo, it's gonna hit them on somebody else that ain't really been in love. It's gonna hit them, and they may feel it, but somebody that been in love, that see that person that's their sweetest taboo, it's gonna hit totally different. So I love when artists can do that. They can put me in their shoes, you know what I mean?
That's always so storytelling for you.
It's not really storytelling. It's just like, I feel like when somebody been through the shit is gonna hit you harder, and that's what makes it a better experience for me. When
the person that you're listening to, you can tell by their words and their vocal projection, like how they say. It's not just what they say. Cause you can say you did this, that. You can say you did like if you want to go to like the drill rap shit. Like, not saying that people don't do what they say they did, but a lot of people, especially like locally, they haven't. You know what I'm saying? Or like in whatever local area, wherever you at, like they're just saying the shit because it sounds cool. But there's certain people you can tell, and it's just like innate human ability type shit. You can hear the difference. You might hear it subconsciously, and that's why you fuck with that artist more than you fuck with this artist that's talking about the same thing. It just hits different. You know what I'm saying?
So the words really mean a lot.
Like the lyrics and how they say shit. Like if you say you did this at a third, okay, cool. But if this other person is saying they did this, they're describing you. I used this much. There was this much there. There was this many people. Blah blah blah. I see how they looking at me. This is how I felt when they're looking at me. Did they catch me? Da 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 da. Like there's certain ways.
So is it,
the clearer the listener, the clearer you can hear the picture, the better job they did.
I'll give you an example. When Young Jesus said, "If it's taking too long to lock up, bring it back. You were short anyway, so bring a stack." That shit was fucked up. I wouldn't even know. I ain't haven't opened up a whole thing since '94. You know what I'm saying? That you gotta in order to come up with that.
If you really did that shit, or even if you won't move in the same shit. If you won't move in coke or whatever,
no, for real.
If it's something like, even if you ain't move coke like he did, if you move in weed, the process is the same. The risk might be different. The dangers might be a little more dangerous the more money you're playing with, obviously, but the process is still the same.
What he described really happens. So it his.
And if you done did it, it's just like, damn, that's where he was where I'm at. Like that's how you gonna read that.
So. What do you think?
For me, what makes a good song, and this is, like I said, this is just my personal opinion, is within my music selection in the genres that I like. For me, good music doesn't have a genre. It's just whatever makes you feel something. For me, and maybe it's because I'm a Cancer, I don't fucking know. I like feelings. So anything that is either thought-provoking or somehow moves me with emotion is a good song. I want to feel touched. Like you said, I want to feel like I was having the exact same experience. If I can't picture a music video in my head, it's probably not a great song for me.
Oh,
Okay?
God.
Because
Exactly.
I need to be able to create to whatever the fuck
God.
is going on that I'm listening to.
The clearer the picture is painted, the better.
Exactly.
You're gonna feel it.
For me, it's obviously lyricism, because I ain't listening to. There's a time and a place for all that hee-haw shit, and half the time I'm not in the hee-haw environment. So obviously time and place, but for me, I like lyricism. I like to be moved, thought-provoking. And not everything's thought-provoking, but when I am, like, for example, when I listen to rap, I like boom bap. I like certain things, like real, not old school, like sometimes old school feelings. For example, Nas. Who else? There's so many other thought-provoking type of artists that are really talking about shit. The ones that, like you said, did it. And so when they speak, you can tell by the way they're speaking about it that they did it. So it's like, it's got to be real for me. I can't listen to people that are just like, just talking to talk. It's like, all right, yeah, we see the cars. We see the fucking bitches twerking. We see all that other shit. Okay, we've seen it. We know that already.
What else?
Cool. What else? So it can't be like that. Like that's boring to me. I also have a very eclectic music taste. So depending on what form I'm in, I like to have music that goes along with that form. I'll be really giddy. Maybe one day I want to listen to fucking Majid Jordan. I want to listen to fucking who else? Pink Pantherist, fucking all guys. Like I said, my music taste is eclectic as fuck. I listen to like everything. As long as it moves me, I'm listening to it.
Word.
If I want to feel happy, I'll listen to blah, 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 blah. If I want to feel like I'm in my lover girl bag and I just want to hear things about deep connection, Cleo So. Fucking, who else? This recent artist that I picked up on, her name's Tamara. She has a song called Romeo that's amazing. You can tell that whoever she was talking about, she was really riding with that nigga. I can relate to that. So it's just like, most of the time, that's the genre that I move for. So, like, neo soul and, like, Afrobeat stuff has been my shit lately.
Okay.
So, that's just me. For me, it's gotta be lyricism. It's gotta be, does it move me? It's gotta be, like, those combinations of things. That's music for me.
All right, what do you think?
For me, I like a good beat, the delivery, confidence, a good story. But I think generally, like mainstream, I think nowadays it's like a good beat and a nice hook, so it's catchy. Because people's attention span is very slim nowadays. But generally, I definitely like a good story and something with substance. If I want to listen to it back to back.
What kind of substance?
Talking
What's your
about something.
topics? What's your topic? Like, you like to hear about love? You like to hear about somebody getting shot? You like to hear for real.
We know you like
It's
it.
like a nice story. Really anything. And I think it also just depends on my mood. But overall, substance meaning like just something real for life. It's like a day to day, like a good, genuine story. Like you were saying earlier, like something you could tell that they actually went through. And
So
yeah,
what's
something
one-
with some soul to it. And it's really just delivered with it too.
Let me ask you this though. What's one of those songs that hit you like that? Like you feel like boom, that's you. Like you really relate to that song. Like what song
That
is
is a
that for
good
you?
point too. If I say, I do feel like in certain songs that you listen to, you need to somehow see yourself within it.
Most definitely.
Exactly.
So, like I said,
I like
relation.
VA Savage, one of her remixes. I don't know the title.
Said VA Savage.
Yeah, it's the one girl. She made the song. I don't know if she's local, but it's it's on her.
Oh,
SoundCloud.
Pretty Savage.
Yeah, it's one of the
what
one of
are
those
you talking
freestyle challenges things that people do. She did that. But I like that one, and I like Jadakiss Smoking Gun, and
What about Jadakiss Smoking Gun?
I like the song.
But what about the song?
Like, that motherfucker made me that mad today. I'm gonna leave a smoke.
I'm just trying to, you know
It's
what I'm
like
saying?
I don't know. I guess it's the story
Okay.
and the message behind it. I guess it could just be like, in a sense, relatable, and then it's like, there's
So-
also like an ideal dynamic to a relationship. Like, oh, you rocking, you riding type shit. Okay, word, and you know the story behind what people been through, and you got someone that's gonna come around with a smoking gun and pushing in a shove. So they real riding, and I guess it's really just the delivery behind it too. I like singing singing songs.
So do you feel like you're that person, like, okay, if you had a problem, people would have your back type shit? Like, people would come with a smoking gun. Is that why, like, you grasp onto that?
I would hope so, but I mean, I think it's more of ideally like I would appreciate that relationship.
Somebody having your back type shit.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I'm just trying to know. I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get inside, you know, my little thug thizzle. But that's dope though. I had a point I was gonna make. So I do like some of the jumping up, Lil Uzi, you know what I'm saying, Cardi type shit,
Time
right?
and place.
Time and place. But see, this is how I look at it, right? They talk about cars, money, hoes, shit like that, right? Boom. I look at it like, all right, I like a song that can give you both. So it's something like that's playful, but it also hits hard. Meaning like, okay, I compare it to a girl that you're very attracted to on the surface, but then once you get to meet her, you get to really figure out her personality, you get to connect with her more. And that's why the relationship with that song is gonna last longer, because on the surface is dope. You like the sound of it. But when you really look into it, there's so much more there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Am I going to why y'all so what are you doing? Yeah, so
It's Nigel for me every single time.
I'm not doing nothing.
what is he doing?
I'm not doing nothing.
It's not that he's doing anything.
Is that he's doing
the
nothing?
fact that he's doing nothing is doing everything. That's what it is. I cannot. Every single time I look over, Nigel's just like,
He's listening.
every single time. No, I know, but I know
Are you
that's
supposed to
what,
look at the person that's talking?
like that. I know that's what we're doing as you're talking, so that's why it's funny as fuck. Anyway, yeah. So what was your point?
My point is that a lot of that jumping up music will like fade away, because once you get over how good a girl looks, like what the fuck else is there? You get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I can.
So
see
like
how
that's
you
the
can
that's
relate that
the
to
that's
music.
the analogy. Like, okay, you can have something that's good on the surface, but if it doesn't connect to you, it's just gonna be there. You're gonna fuck the bitch and you're gonna leave her alone.
That's
Dead, good analogy. I'm dead.
Feel me?
But yeah, other than like obviously what we feel like makes a good song, like what would you like to see from artists as far as what is coming out? Like, you know how everybody used to say that like, oh, hip hop is dead or certain things are dead. What do you feel as though it's missing?
A better presentation.
What I want you to definitely explain what you mean by that.
Even like the flow that a lot of rappers use.
Their cadence.
Yeah, like if it's the triple up, like if it's like the Bone Thugs influence shit that Migos eventually ended up doing with the like I'm so technical with it that it's like when you're hearing that, some of the lyrics might relate, but the presentation doesn't make what you're saying hit the way that you might want it to.
Okay.
So, just even off of how many syllables you're using, the da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Like you might have said like it was tough times. Mom was broke. Working 2 jobs. I was out in the street. Like my grandma raised me, but she couldn't stop me from going out in the street, and this is the result of that. You might have said all of that within whatever you said, but
basically saying clarity.
But you're not even allowing enough time by the flow that you're using with the type of beat that you're rapping over to allow those words to digest with the listener. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying clearly
because you just said all of what I just said. You just said all of that shit within 7 seconds. Now, how the fuck is the listener supposed to digest that and cry with you when you was probably crying when you was writing the shit? Mm-hmm. If that's the case, how is the listener supposed to feel that? To feel what you're saying, the way that you might intend for them
they don't understand
to connect with it, if you're saying it that way, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a better presentation. Like you can like slow it. Like you can do like the turn up shit or like the higher energy shit and say the same thing, but slow the shit down. It shouldn't be so much of the same shit. Like,
okay, yeah, I feel it.
Like say some of them same things on like a softer beat. It don't have to be R&B. Or like a hip hop R&B collab like early 2000s shit. It don't have to be that, but slow it down and actually put the you have to, if you're making the music, you have to put the listener in position to hear the music the way that you want them to hear it.
Okay, I definitely feel that. I think I also appreciate an artist that's versatile because I hate to hear the same shit albums down the line. I fucking hate that. It's like, what else can you do besides this? I think that I have like very unpopular opinions when it comes to certain album, like in like artists. As far as artists that most people probably don't like, I love versatility. I love people who can switch it up and bounce from genre to genre, or somehow bring different genres all together.
Yeah, like incorporate different genres in what you do, but make that.
But make it yours. Yeah. Like, you ain't gotta just, you decided to go over into fucking rock and now all of a sudden your whole fucking album is that. Right. Like, what do you bring to those things? A good example of that, and not like as far as genre goes, but as far as people coming together on something that a lot of people thought wasn't gonna work, is King's Disease by Nas for me. I feel like
the first one, you're talking about the first one? You're talking about the first one or the second one?
King's Disease got 2?
Yeah, he just dropped King's Disease 2 in, I think in August.
It was definitely 2020.
No, he just dropped the second one like in like August. He just dropped King's Disease 2 this year.
For real? Mm-hmm. Okay, well I don't think I knew that. I'm not saying whatever. Okay, well, did Hit Boy produce this one too? Mm-hmm. For real? Mm-hmm. Okay, well I got some catching up to do clearly, but I'm talking about the one that has Replace Me on it and all that. I feel like that was done so well. Everybody was talking about how are they gonna, take these new era rappers and bring someone as classic and old school as Nas.
Yeah, because a lot of times when the older rappers get the younger guys up there, it's it ends up sounding like the newer rapper song
instead of
like
vice
that, like
versa.
They're trying to play today's
but I feel
game.
like the artist definitely met Nas where he was at. So I definitely think that whole album was definitely. It was good, but I could be slightly biased because I love Nasir Jones, so that's just me. Damn. But I fuck with that. I liked the new era and older artists coming together, and like I said, it wasn't like he was trying to like fit into what music is today. He was still very much himself, still talking about very real stuff that happened in his fucking life, and he's got these new school rappers adding what they add to his album to create that substance, and it was what it was. Great. Like, that was, I definitely overplayed that whole thing.
Yeah, see, you from up top and shit, so you got a different level of respect for Nas.
It's not even that. Like, I spent a good amount of time between here and in Philly. It's just, you know, I like certain people who talk about certain shit. Because it's just like, all right, that's real, that's respect, that's okay, you're actually from the hood, you actually seen this, you actually did XYZ, this happened. You're talking not just about the hood ass shit that happened, but you're talking about your relationships with women. You're talking about, you know, some real shit. And he talks about a lot of shit that, you know, you gotta be a real grown ass man to be talking about. Like, to really admit your faults, to talk about some shit you probably didn't really want to put on a song. That's respect.
No, that's a fact. My bad. Y'all keep going. I'm just doing my thing. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah. I can't.
Oh, weak. So, let's get on to this Travis Scott shit, right? I want Rory's opinion. Whose fault was it? Was it Travis Scott? Was it Travis Scott's fault?
Everybody should have taken accountability for one. Like, why was there that young of people there, knowing that how events like that can get?
Yeah, like when I saw a 10-year-old died like that, or he was just, I think
14.
they changed it to 14.
Yeah.
I think a 9-year-old kid died too.
Oh, so it was 10 and 14?
I think it was like a 9-year-old died too.
What was your child?
Or maybe no, maybe it was like 9 people. Maybe it was 9 people that died.
They said it was 8. They said it was 8 people, but the youngest one was 10.
No, but a girl just died.
Oh, another girl that was
the one that was brain dead. She just died, so it's 9 now.
She got carried to the hospital and died in the hospital or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Cause I think they said there was like 5 additional people that were added to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, nah. Yeah,
That's crazy.
9 people now.
That's sweet.
I also feel like he maybe didn't know the severity of the matter until after the fact, because you got to think of when people are performing, they can't really see because the lights are very bright. So when you're on stage, it's very hard to see.
Especially if you've got 50,000+ people there.
Yeah, like you can't really see the people there, and then it's like events are typically chaotic, so it's inevitable for something to go left. He maybe just didn't understand the severity. I heard that eventually he did stop it. I don't think he should have like completely stopped the whole thing. I feel like once he figured out the severity, he should have paused it and directed his fans to like act accordingly.
So what I saw, he was suspended up on like a little pole thing with his leg strapped or whatever, and he saw somebody that was passed out, and he did stop like during that performance. But overall, they said that from the time that they put the timeline together, and like from the time that people first started saying that people were dying or somebody had died or whatever, like the show went on for like so for the time that it got reported to security that somebody had died, the show went on for like another 40 minutes. Like Drake came out like after that.
Apparently that's when it got worse too. When he came out.
I can imagine, because when he came out, I think when he first came out, the first song they did was Sicko Mode, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So I already know that shit was crazy. Like all of them people out there.
I don't
on a baseball field.
I think this is a learning lesson for him to be more responsible.
Or football field, whatever.
You know what I mean?
This is a lesson he gonna feel financially. Period.
Yeah, nah. I mean, no, he's not. Fucking, what's his baby mama name?
Kylie Jenner.
Oh, she gonna pay that shit off.
No. I'm just saying he's gonna.
20
I don't
million?
mean
Oh, here you go.
financially.
Here
I'm
you go,
talking
babe.
about. I'll get into my reasons of why I'm saying stuff because I've done a lot of digging and research. So, because I want to know what the fuck is going on.
He might feel some financial effects. He's not going. He's
Oh
not
no,
gonna
I'm not
feel
saying
that
it's gonna
shit.
hit him and take him out at all. This nigga's filthy rich and has a filthy rich ass family.
He's not even.
He's
He's not even the person that's. He's not even the person that's most responsible.
Yeah.
That's Live Nation. Live Nation put that shit together. Like Live Nation owns like the Norva, the National, what's the name of them joints? House of Blues, like all of the House of Blues around the country. The Fillmore in Baltimore. I think there's one in Philly. They got like all of these like concert venues and shit. Live Nation is in contract or is in concert. See what I did there? In concert. but like Live Nation either owns a lot of these venues or they work directly and they set them up. Like the artist isn't like Travis Scott didn't go to the owner of the Houston or NRG is either the Houston Astros Stadium or the Houston Texans football stadium. I can't remember which one, but he didn't go to the owner directly and be like, "Hey, I'm trying to throw a festival." Da 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 da. Like the multi-billion-dollar entity of Live Nation would have approached that other billionaire to say like, "Hey, we want to throw a performance and shit." So as a performer on stage, your job is to perform. Like you got event staff, you got security, you got police, you got all the people who work for Live Nation that are covering everything. You got the lighting guys, the sound guys, the camera crew, this, that, the third. Like anybody putting the blame on the dude who's on stage performing and doing his job, like he's supposed to see everything in a crowd of 50,000 people. You're fucking crazy.
Nah, but at the same time, you can't tell people to rush the barricades and shit.
That was something from 2015. He didn't tell people that. Not
I
for
don't
this.
believe that. I think he did.
He's any clip that I've seen was him like telling people to turn up. He didn't say rush the barricades and fuck the security. He said that in 2015 or 17 at Lollapalooza, and he got arrested for that.
Yeah.
He got arrested for that. He didn't get arrested for this. He got arrested at the show, and they shut down the show. They shut down the show, and he got arrested that day. He didn't get arrested for this.
Yeah. Let me ask y'all a question though.
I still got my point to make.
I know.
Too.
This
And
might.
you do too, 'cause I ain't even
Oh,
speak
so
on it
let me say this real quick. And then an event that day with 100,000 people. I was watching Joe Budden's podcast yesterday, and Joe Budden's a rapper. He's done bookings for his podcast and his shows for years. But point being, they were doing the math on it because they said it was like between 50 and like 150,000 people or something like that because a bunch of people rushed the barricade, snuck in, and all that other shit. But they looked up the price of the tickets, and the tickets were like $365 per person times like 100,000 people. Do the math. That amount of millions that they're expecting to come in, and then it was a 2-day festival. Like the total came up to, plus merch and all that other shit, it came up to being around like, the estimate was like somewhere around like $150 million in a day, and it was a 2-day festival. There was an investment made. Him, like all of whatever went on, there was an investment made by somebody with a shit ton more bread than him, who would be held a lot more responsible and liable for the events that took place than him. They set that up for him so that they can get their bread.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck niggas know. But they made that big of an investment. They would have been the ones to hit up Houston PD and set up all the event staff and the police and all that other shit. If it's going to be an estimate of, even if it's $50 million made in 2 days, that amount of money coming past, there's somebody with a lot more bread than Travis Scott that's going to be running most of that shit.
Let me ask y'all this though. Are you finished?
Yeah, you go ahead.
What you got to ask? Because I still haven't got to say what I need to say. What you got to ask?
But look, this might go into what you about to say. Why is it not clear how these people died?
It's that they got trampled to death.
Yeah, but
that's what they say.
Most of them are saying that they got trampled to death.
You're in a mosh pit and it's hot, crowded, exhausting. People acting the goddamn fool.
Now, I've been in mosh pits and crowded and exhausted. Everybody's different for sure.
When I saw pictures of a couple of the victims, I was like, his big ass got trampled. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but
I don't think people are just walking over people like that.
Especially if they lifeless, not moving, just like jumping up and down over top of them.
Like yeah, that's crazy.
Like I feel like there was some drugs involved. They're not saying it yet.
I don't know. Most definitely, they already uncovered that.
Like,
but they not for sure promoting that. Why are they not promoting that? Because what law you say Biden just passed?
He lessened the penalty on fentanyl dealers.
So he lessened the penalty on fentanyl dealers, right? So say if this is all fentanyl deaths, right? If that shit gets to the media, then they got to do something about that law. But why don't they want to do anything about that law?
Money.
For fucking money. So they can keep selling, giving these people fentanyl.
That's possible.
It's legal. Like fentanyl is like not illegal, right?
That's possible. Because if you're talking about a big ass festival like that, we not about to sit here and act like we don't know it's not drugs everywhere at these meetings.
At a Travis Scott festival, what the fuck else is nigga talking about?
Like niggas at EDC, like Daisy Congo, Lollapalooza.
Like They gonna be high as fuck in the Travis Scott. That's his whole thing. Like, I'm the highest in the room. What else he talk about? I don't know.
Just everything
Just
that
drugs,
a normal
right?
fucking rapper really does talk about.
I don't know. I don't listen to that. Anyways, yeah. What'd you think? Oh, you already said what you thought, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My bad. We're gonna cut this up.
He trying to play me. Anyway.
Oh my bad. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, for me, like I said, I've done some research. I've done, obviously, like Nigel was saying, you do have people way beyond him that handle, obviously, the business side of things. Where I feel like really, like, between security and between the initial planning, because you know Travis Scott and how many people turn out for this man. I'm not going to say that you're going to have the exact calculations of who's going to, every single body that's going to make it into a concert.
Yeah.
But you still have your suspected turnout. Being that there's a venue that huge, and previous concerts that have gone on, it doesn't matter the artist. You know the capacity that this venue could hold. You know how popular this said artist is. You know people are going to
because you're gonna project all of that out before you even agree to take on the concert.
Right. So it's like, you know that this venue can fit X amount of people. That's a lot of people for that venue. Like you said,
it was outside,
50,000
right?
to
It was either
250,000 capacity. That's a lot of motherfuckers. So you have to somehow budget within all that money that you're about to make over someone who is pretty much in superstardom. You had to have planned and budgeted to prepare for what comes with that many bodies.
Okay, so NRG Park is the Houston Texans football stadium.
Right.
So they were down on a football field, not to mention whoever might have been in the stands.
Exactly. And so, with that being said,
is it outside?
You should.
It's an indoor.
You should anticipate.
Indoor?
It's in a dome. Yeah.
You should anticipate how many motherfuckers are really gonna be there, and how many personalities, how many different kinds of people are about to show up for an artist as huge as Travis Scott. And then also, people aren't dumb. You obviously see how people act when they're out at his concerts. 0 cents. Everything goes out the window. You're enjoying. He encourages.
Yeah,
He encourages
the dudes
the raging. Like, that's his thing,
the
right?
dudes that were dancing on top. They managed to get an ambulance into the crowd to try and pick people up. The fact that there were people on top of the fucking ambulance trying to help people dancing. No normal person is doing that.
Right.
Like you're either.
But it's like you gotta think
Somebody's encouraging them to do that shit though.
Or drugs.
Okay, right. Well, we know that. We know that people are gonna do what they're gonna do
drugs.
in preparation. What do we call it in our age for going to something before we get there? What, pre-gaming? You're doing whatever you want to be in the moment. Whatever the fuck is your vice. If you don't have any, you just be hype. But pre-gaming to get somewhere to then continue to act a fool. Now you add those drugs within an environment that is obviously. Think about like just the energies of being somewhere where everybody's hyped up, everybody's raging, the anxiety, the all these different energies being exchanged between that many fucking people, including heat exhaustion, because you're fucking right here. People who wrote their experience being there were saying that you're sharing space immediately with the person right next to you and all around you. So
the problem
Why would they have that inside?
No, they can have it inside because you're in a football stadium. You're on the field for the most part. You're gonna have they have a full packed crowd on Sundays and sold out games and shit. So they've got like the air system to deal with that. They've got the air system to deal with that. Now, if they needed like a little extra, maybe they could have set up some extra big fans or some shit like that to like manage like.
But it's
air
still
on the crowd and shit,
the heat of that many people.
Yeah.
It don't fucking matter about no air filtration.
That's not supposed to be inside.
And then adding the people that snuck in that were not even supposed to be there.
Or just stuck in before they had to pay a ticket.
The control was horrible. Not enough security.
The fact
not enough
that
of anything.
you can have that many people, but you can't have that many people without enough people to help that many people if shit goes left. You need more police. You need more EMTs.
It was poor planning, and my thing is when they release certain things, and obviously tabloids are gonna be tabloids. When they released when the plan for the actual event got released, and how they were referring to, if you see any dead people, don't call them dead people, call them Smurfs. You're not allowed to they literally were like, refer to them as Smurfs. Don't call them, dead people. Don't use the word dead, period. So they knew that people were going to probably pass within the crowd. Because like I said, he encourages rage. He encourages doing this, that, and the third. If you've literally watched clips of this man and his past concerts, first of all, I never realized how evil of a person he actually is. This nigga's temper is very quick. Like, and I get when people are fucking with you and you snap off, I get that all day. But you can just tell from certain clips how quick he is to react and how he is in general. You can just peep that. Sometimes you don't have to know somebody, just peep some shit.
I don't necessarily know all of what you're referring to.
No,
I've seen so many clips, and it's like, damn, that's really how you are. Like, that's you.
Arrogant.
The rage is actually you, nigga. You're actually that unhappy. Like for real. It don't matter how much money you have. He's really quick to snap. He snapped on people on his own team for production. He snapped on just fans just innocently admiring him from, whatever. Like the one dude who accidentally took his shoe off. Didn't even mean to do it. You're in a crowded space. You do something on accident, and all of a sudden this nigga's turning his fans on you, telling you, get this nigga, jump him. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, encouraging Anchor is his thing. Think about all his album names and the fucking depiction, the way that he decided to design his albums. They all highlight darker shit. And you have to think, for me, I always think beyond surface level shit. Because you have to think the pressure that these artists are under. You have to think, I just signed my life away to... And whether that's in, a deeper sense, or as in you just signed a fucking heavy-ass contract, you about to work your ass off all the way until whatever. And then probably have to re-sign that to continue to support whatever the fucking, money habits you got. So it's that much pressure, plus whatever the fuck they've decided to choose you for and whatever you're about, the agenda for you to push as an artist. Because it's always deeper than just, let me just be me and push whatever. No, they want you to push whatever the fuck message they want you to push. If it's anger, rage, and this, that, and the third for a bigger agenda than whatever the fuck you are, you're out of control at this point. They own you. So it's just for me, looking at his behaviors, looking at, this poor ass fucking planning for this event. The show must go on, which was a thing that was all over in the tabloids. It was in their plan. The show must go on, no matter fucking what. Who gives a fuck about who the fuck is passing out right there. They came here, they knew what to expect. The mic or something? That's something that was in the papers that was drawn up, in the event planning. The show has to go on, no matter what happens. Like I was saying, when they talked about referring
you're
to
talking about
people,
so if you go to a funeral, you get little pamphlet shit, the obituary, there's something that they were handed or something like that had something like that written on it.
As far as the team goes for the event plan, I'm not probably using the right words.
Okay.
But the team knew what's up. Don't refer to these people as dead people. Don't do this, that, and the third. This is how it's gonna go. We got said ambulance for this. We got said security guards for this. If this happens, this is what we gonna do. Nothing stopping. Which makes sense because, like you said, if you're on stage, you're an artist. Your only job, like you said, is to perform. Worry about getting XYZ song done. Don't bullshit. Really stop it for real.
Your only job isn't to just perform. Your only job is being fucking human.
Well, yeah. At the end of the fucking day, it's so many people have different perspectives on this event. for me, it's like, yeah, you gotta get your songs out. These people are here to experience you in your concert for you. But it's like, at the same point, though, you want to make sure that people are actually enjoying this shit and not dying on your fucking, like, not watch, technically, but on your watch. Because this is your shit. So it's like, damn, like, where the fuck... And I just, like, there's so many different things that I just, like, I'm really not understanding about how it went. I get that there were so many people that you cannot possibly control that many fucking people. But in order to try to have some control, it should have been certain things implemented to avoid things like this.
But then that goes back to my point. If it's him, he's setting up his whole stage production and shit. He's not about to tell the city mayor how many police we need here, how many event staff we need here, how many, Live Nation, how many event staff workers are you providing? Because you're booking this, you're setting all of this up. Like, he's not in charge of any of that.
Oh, no, absolutely.
So then it's the failure of
Live Nation. I'm talking about
the failure of Live Nation and Houston PD and anybody who had any authority over Houston PD, because either don't allow him to have this, don't even allow more than this amount of people to show up, or have enough people on at the event that can help in case of emergency. So they apparently they had like 750 police officers plus however many event organizers, but they're saying that there was like around like 100-something thousand people there. If you're talking about 100-something thousand people, like, but you have 750 police officers. Let's say you had 750 police officers and the rest of the event staff was double that. Okay, so you have 1,400 people. No, 1,500 people to manage 100,000 people. That math doesn't add up.
No, it
like,
doesn't.
so why are you even, like, you shouldn't even be allowing this many people to come in here if you don't have enough to match up to that in case of
See, we
an
can
emergency.
talk about this in obviously like literal sense as far as poor planning, obviously powers that be, as in like, you know, the people who were organizing, paying for things. That makes sense. Okay, that's like what people are pretty much targeting when they're looking at the whole thing. Obviously, there's other people who are looking at Travis like, nigga, like, what the fuck? This is your shit. But the reason why I talked about his contract and, you know, shit that he might be under, because we don't know that. We don't know fuck his money looking like, what he signed off for, or whatever. That's all shit that none of us will never know unless you were there in the room while that nigga did. You don't know the specifics in the fucking, you know, underlying shit behind his contract. My thing is that, you know, regardless of what the fuck you were signed up and came there to do, you could have stopped shit just for a second to tell everybody to chill the fuck out. I'm not saying that
if somebody told him while he was on stage.
I'm not saying that that's really gonna stop people. Like I said, his concerts and his music are about raging. That energy, you add people who, like you said, intoxicated, who are probably honestly in the same fucking energy as this nigga, because most people listen to that type of shit when they're very angered inside, or have some kind of fucking shit going on inside, or you just want to be hyped. Like I said, it really just depends. I feel like there are so many little places where things could have been different and more controlled, to where it wouldn't have been a fucking outcome of multiple people dying. And then just the fact that people try to get on the stage and get the attention of people, even though they couldn't get to Travis.
I don't know if those people were on the stage. You're talking about like the camera guy?
Mm-hmm. Up on the side. On the side. I'm not talking about on the stage. I'm saying how they hopped up off from where they were to get the attention of someone such as the camera guy. Obviously, you're going to go to the furthest, like the closest person to you. And then whoever could have delivered a message like, yo, it's some shit going on over there. Like, people are real life dying. Like, again, it goes back to how they were expecting for motherfuckers to die. Why would you want something to still move on if you knew that there was going to be that possibility?
And that's where it's like, I can't say that they were expecting, like, hey, I'm going to do this concert.
No, that's what she's saying. She's saying they had like a set sheet. Like,
yes,
okay,
this was on
rules.
Paper.
Yeah.
This was leaked.
Saying.
Okay.
This was on paper. This was something literally within their planning. Like, this is going to go down, most likely. We're expecting so-and-so. So this is why we have ambulance. This is why we have the code, as in don't refer to them as dead people, refer to them as Smurfs. So if we see a Smurf, alright, we already know what the fuck it is. Ain't nobody else panicking. We get the Smurfs and we keep it rolling. Because, quote unquote, this show must go on. So they didn't give a fuck. They didn't care. And then just like people breaking in.
If that's something that was on paper, then like I can't. Then nothing that I said is relevant.
Yeah, but no, it still was in the sense that it's
if that
bigger
shit's
than
real,
him.
then nothing else is relevant.
Right, but that's why I wanted to get into the point of it being a lot more deeper than what meets the eye. Because obviously you get up to such a high status, you start to have to pay for things in other ways. I definitely believe in that shit. Because ain't no way, like, and money is like really the root of all evil, as we know. I don't know if y'all agree with that or not, but for me, it's definitely. People do absurd shit for money.
I don't think that's the root of all evil.
Go ahead, Steven.
Doubt is the root of all evil.
I mean, I guess I don't really know where you going with that, but
doubt,
as far as in this
money. If we knew that God will really come and strike us down, would we do the shit that we do? If we knew for a fact, like, okay, if it's like, I know that if I jump off this Empire State Building, I'm gonna die. So most of us not jump off that bitch. Unless we want to die. Now, like, if we knew that God is real and if we died, like, we would really go to hell and burn for eternity, for a fact that we knew, then we wouldn't do this shit. And I feel like, all right, boom. Another thing with doubt, right? Doubt, insecurities about ourselves. You know what I mean? The idea that we need money to get girls, or we need money to be happy, or we need money to have a car. There's people in the world, there's homeless people totally happy. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that, but in a world such as where he lives in, everyone has a different reality. Okay? Mine's not the same as hers. Yours is not the same as hers. Yours is not the same as Steve's. Steve is not the same as yours. We are in different realism. When I say that,
you mean we're all experiencing like
no. So what I'm saying is, why do they feel like they need money? Need the money?
Society.
Why?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Because we're all living in different realities. We're here simultaneously right now. We all have different experiences. They're all coinciding with each other. It's connectedness. But my main point was, in his reality, he's making his money. Money is the ruler of his world at the moment. He signed some shit that is pretty much, they own him, like I said. So what they say fucking goes. It's the same example set for the way that this concert was set up. He can't say shit about the way that they set up shit. He has almost no say in the way that shit goes. He could probably speak up, but it's not his
money. Is a
not
surface.
His money completely going into that. It's the contract that he sold. You're gonna go tour all these places. You're gonna go perform XYZ. You're gonna make the money that we're investing in you back. So you have to go and do these things. Like I said, his reality is different than ours. And so the reason why I said money is the root of all evil, in that reality, It has to be. That's his whole fucking life. If he stopped doing,
But why is that his life?
Because it's a choice that he made.
But why do you make that choice? You're saying root. When you say root, right? Root means you root ask why, and then you ask why, and then you ask. Wait.
No, the root means the source.
Wait. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you ask why, and then you ask why, and then you ask why, do you ask why till you can't ask why no more.
But what does that have to do? Yeah, I need you to connect this.
So
it's not making
look,
sense
this is
to
what
me.
I'm saying. You ask, okay, why is money guiding them?
They want everybody's. See, that's the thing. Everybody's in it for a different reason.
No. I'm just asking the question. So just listen to me real quick. Why is money guiding them, right? So you ask that question, like, why is money guiding them? This person, say you rich. This person might want to look more rich than their counterparts. This person might want to feed their family, right? So say we're talking about the people at the high point, right? At the top. This person might want to look richer than this person. Why do they want to look richer than this person?
Society, acceptance.
Why? Okay, society and acceptance. Why don't they feel
allowing each other to live? How we're leading each other.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is, it's the doubt, it's the insecurity in them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all perspective. I think it's all just...
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying everybody's in a different reality. I get how you're trying to connect that. It makes plenty of sense. But in this case, like I said,
they're oblivious. What I'm saying is they're oblivious to the real source. It on the surface is money.
Real is perspective too.
Right,
but
I'm
saying
saying
is also perspective. People consider different things evil.
You think real is perspective?
Evil is kind of inevitable too.
No.
If real is perspective, then
so below.
If real is perspective, then there's no source.
Etc. There's many examples of obviously those balances. But I'm not. My main point was saying the contracts that he's under, that he's binded, that obviously you cannot get out of until you've done what you're supposed to do, and the likelihood of him continuing that same contract is very high. So it's like within this situation, looking at his character, and obviously we don't know these people personally, but it's like based off of what you see in someone's behaviors and what they're about, what their image is, the agenda. And for me, just like imagery, symbolism, things that we're exposed to on a day-to-day, programming, all this other shit. The agenda, like I said, is bigger. It's so much bigger than him. So it's like you take someone who is supposed to provoke XYZ as far as emotion, as far as talking about certain subjects, it influences.
So what you trying to say? Like, what's the point? Like, what you trying to?
I'm about to make my connection. Okay. So obviously, certain influences are going to influence people to do certain things. Okay, not saying that everybody's that susceptible to those kind of things. Like, is it making sense? Like,
no, I get what you're on that surface though. What I'm saying is
that's not surface. That's
for sure.
Deeper.
No, what I'm saying is
because I was about to get into the set design. I was about to get into overall how they decided to set up the concert.
No,
who was in the mosh pit? Who was in the front? How much you had to pay to be that close? Like. The actual, did y'all look at the actual like set design? Have y'all paid attention to the set design?
I saw like two things where I guess like you have to like walk, like he has like a big inflatable thing that's like his head. You have to walk through the mouth, and that's similar to like the portal to hell and that imagery. Then they're like on stage, they have like some sort of spiral imagery or something like that.
Right, the mountain with the portal, and then Someone else pointed out to me too that there were actually darker figures like on top of the mountain itself, and just like the fact that there's a portal in the middle of the portal, there was an eye. Obviously, eye connects to what?
Soul.
Exactly, the collection of souls. And like I said, with a status like his, you have to do something in order to continue to be that famous, to be in the public that much. And it just gets, like I said, it gets so deep. into certain shit. And like I said, we're not there in that reality to experience what the fuck is going on with them. But you notice how many celebrities and how many people are plants for certain stuff. For the agenda, for distraction, for things that when people are being too of this world.
It's for their power, right? To gain more power.
For plenty of things. Look at how fucking America was built. It's all about power. It's all about hunger and greed.
Exactly.
A million things.
But why do people feel like they need that power? That's what I'm trying to say. Why do we feel like we need to be the most gangster nigga? Why do we feel like we need the most power? Why do we feel like we need the most money? It all comes to doubt.
Or acceptance.
Or acceptance. Insecurity.
Because if you had you just want attention and you want to be accepted by your parentals. And
exactly.
Some people don't get that.
And what would acceptance make you feel? It would make you feel secure. It will make you feel confident in yourself.
Well, I mean,
what's
we
the
know,
opposite
but
of confidence? Confidence means knowing, right? What's the opposite of knowing? Being doubtful. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like I said, all that stuff makes sense, but even just like obviously, yes, doubt. That's how he got there to the status of where he is. But we're past that point. You can still be doubtful even when you have all these things that you've already acquired. Who the fuck are you when someone owns you?
Exactly, and that's the whole point. Like that's the reason why he
as
doesn't give a fuck about people.
Though, as I get older, I realize how not great it seems to be someone of that status.
Got 1 minute left.
How not great it may be to have that much money and that much power. You pretty much go on a fucking spiral.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, for real, a lot of people with that much status, you see them like years down the line, they look strung out. They look lost as fuck. Like, unless you get off the hamster wheel, you look strung the fuck out. Mm-hmm. Like, they're never the same in show business. They're never the same in so many other ways, in ways that we probably would never be able to see. So it's like, with that whole concert situation, I feel like we're in, I forgot what age we're in as far as spiritually, but we're definitely in that awakening stage where we're seeing a lot more shit and it's a lot more apparent. It's right in our face now, whether you choose to see it or not. That's just, or maybe you just unaware. Whenever the fuck you wake up, that shit is right in your face and has always been. That's why I just think this instance is wild as fuck. Down to the imagery, down to just the real reality part of it. Shit is wild.
So, in conclusion, right, it's fuck Travis Scott, his record label, and the motherfucking crew. If you want to be down with Travis Scott, then fuck you too. Gang gang.
I just say fuck society.